Hello everybody, this is Mac and we're going to work on our word problems with proportions. Before we get going, I just want to remind you that if you go to maxtutorials.com, you can find a lot of information there on algebra. And if you can like and subscribe to these videos, that would really help us out. Okay, so we talked before about how, when I say before, I mean in version A, and I have a video that goes through all these. When you have a proportion problem, they're going to have something that has two different units, and they're going to give you one of them, and that's going to be like the original you're going to go off of, and then they're going to give you half of the other. And the way you set it up, let's just read it. A car uses 12 gallons of gas to travel 360 miles. So I know I have 12 gallons to go 360 miles. I'm even going to write G on top over miles. Okay, that way I know while I'm doing the proportion, I can remember where everything is. And I'm going to make that equal to a fraction that will also have the gallons on top of the miles on the bottom. How far can it travel on 20 gallons? Well, it gives us the gallons, so 20 goes on top. Bottom, that's going to be the x. Now, once we do our cross multiplying here, and pardon me while I pop out my quick little calculator here, because I'm just going to do this right here on the side. I'm not going to do it here on the screen. But I'm going to get 12x equals, and that's going to be let's see, 0. Oh, I need a little more room than that. 0, 0, 2, carry the 1, 7260. All right, once I divide everybody by 12, x equals 7260 divided by 12, which is 605. Okay, so you can go 605 what? The one we didn't have is miles, so we can go miles. Okay, number 2. We have a $75 pair of shoes that's discounted by $30. What's the discounted amount? Okay, this one does not set up like a proportion, like two fractions. Nor is it like the ones that we did before where we were doing the percent increase and decrease. The way you're going to solve these, just see what it wants. What's the discounted amount? How much money is off when I take 30% of 75? Well, that's just simple math. 75 of means times 0.3 means 30%. So it started at $75. If I take 30% off, what's the answer? And the answer when you do that is going to be $22.5. And just make sure you're answering the right question. This happens a lot on the percent things. Okay, so, what happened to my answer? 22.5. That's how much is off. If they say, what's the sales price, you now have to subtract that from 75, right? So there's some things you have to do if they ask you the questions. But here they just want to know what's the discounted amount, how much money's off. The answer is 22.5. Number 3, a recipe uses 5 cups of flour for 30 muffins. 5 cups for 30. I'm going to go cups over muffins. Okay, so now I should get another fraction that uses either cups or muffins. How many cups are needed for 54 muffins? Well, sure enough, 54 muffins. I don't know the cups, so X is here. Now, I know that it's slightly less than half. I am noticing that. So that means that my cup answer should be slightly, not half, but double. So this should be something under 10, 8, 9, something around there. Let's do the math and see if that works. So here, when I cross multiply, 30x equals whatever 54 times 5 is, and it is going to be 270. I'm going to divide by 30, and sure enough, look at that. X is going to equal 9 cups. And so it also passes the sanity check, which is what we want to. Okay, let's go on here to number 4. A student got 42 questions correct out of 50. What percent is that? Okay, so whenever you're trying to figure out a percent of something, that's always going to amount. It's hard because of the way the question is. But how many right out of the total, which is going to be 42 out of 50, okay? So that'll also give you a number under 1, which is what you're going to want. You're going to want to do a decimal. If you're not sure which one goes on top and bottom, just remember that unless you got more than everything right, it's going to be something under 1. So you want the bigger number on bottom. And so when I go 42 divided by 50, that's going to give me 0.84. And if I want to write that as a percentage, it's just 84% because we move it over twice. Okay, let's go to number 5. A model uses a scale of 1 inch to 4 feet. 1 inch is 4 feet. Inches over feet. If a building is 36 feet tall, how tall is the model? Okay, well, 36 feet, that would be on the bottom, and we want to know the inches. 4x equals 36 divided by 4, and we're going to get x equals 9 inches. Okay? Going on, what is 22% of x? What x is equals 22% 0.22 of times 180. And that's how we read this. Maybe I'll take that x out so it's not so confusing. Times 180. All right? So now you just plug in your calculator, 180 times 0.22, and you're going to get 39.6. That is 22% of 180. Number 7, a runner completes 4 miles in 28 minutes. Let's do a fraction. We're going to go miles over minutes, okay? At the same pace, how long will it take him to run 10 miles? Well, miles is on top, minutes is on bottom. We just got to keep those straight between the tops and our bottoms. Cross and multiply, I get 4x equals 280. Divide each side by 4, and my answer is 70. 70 what, though? We're looking for minutes, so it'll take him 70 minutes to run that, 10 miles, okay? Okay, number 8, a meal costs $48, find 15% tip. Whenever you're trying to find a percentage of something, remember, you're using that word of. Of means times. It means multiply. So if you want to find 15% of 48, you write 48 and 15% of, you write it as 0.15. Remember, when we do math, we don't say percent. The percent is for when we talk and express what that is. But in math, you use the decimal version, which would be 0.15. And then once you get a 48 and you times that by a 0.15, you're going to get $7.20, okay? But you can also be nice and tip 20%. That's it, guys. Here's an answer key. Here's some word problems. I know word problems are a little, weird to do, and we don't always like them. But, maybe going through them, they're not so bad. So keep plugging away. You're doing great. I'll see you either in the next version C, which will be a lot like this if you need some more practice, or I'll see you in the next section. Take care, y'all.